Hello Vikings! For today's random replay I have a flight-based replay with me, TK Fuzz and Sabian. We're all three flying high altitude aircraft, and the goal of our match was to pretty much get the win. We currently have the missions going on with big rewards for winning a set amount of matches, so we were really going in for the kill. For that reason we picked 3 Boom&Zoom aircraft, since you can make the biggest impact on the game with triple Boom&Zoom aircraft. Because we're such a high altitude setup, we always check the enemy team. How many high altitudes can we expect, and how big will the threat be at high altitude? So if we look at the enemy team, we see 2 P-51As, a Focke-Wulf and 1 Heavy, which overall is a pretty easy setup. The P-51As are in a flight, but for the rest of it, it's only 4. And considering our team has a lot of BF-109Fs, we should have a pretty easy game in high altitude. Now, as usual on the map Lighthouse, the game starts off really slow, with, of course, a couple of dummies going straight to the enemy base and pretty much suiciding. But there's not much we can do about that. At least the enemy team has the same problem. If we look at the minimap, we can see there's an IL heading for our headquarters. It's just the usual. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there will be one enemy that heads at us in a few seconds. Let me fast forward a bit, because this part is really slow. There we have him, a bow fighter, high altitude, so our entire flight decides to go for him. And he gets annihilated. I think at this point I was joking to TK Fuzz. I really wonder what that bow fighter was expecting would happen, charging in like that. I've seen a replay before, so I'm gonna fast forward a bit more because there's a lot of time, nothing happening. In the meantime, we just keep gaining altitude. One thing to note is that we have lost a lot of our team's players to silly dogfights at low altitude and poor targets, which means we now need to take on a large part of the enemy team. As you can see, we are having contact. I'm taking control of the camera because there's a lot of team play going on, and that's easier to see like this. We have Wisear and TK Fuzz in the Focke-Wulf, and we do some top quality Boom&Zooming here. The first step of Boom&Zooming is clear the high altitude airspace, so we all charge at the P-51A, and he has no match. There's 2 options: either the target dives down like this, and that means he's no longer a high altitude threat, or you kill him. When it's 3 against 1 like this, you can always remove the enemy. So now all our enemies are at low altitude, and we communicate on TeamSpeak who gets to dive first. Looking at the replay, I can see TK Fuzz dives first, while Wisear stays up high. TK Fuzz gets a few shots in a P-51, but it's pretty maneuverable, and as to be expected, he gets a tail. Which means, as you can see, Sabian and Wisear are coming to rescue, and there we go. Wisear annihilates the tail of TK Fuzz. Now Wisear and Sabian are getting tails, and TK Fuzz can get them. Actually, Wisear is not getting any tail, but one problem we can see here is that Sabian lingers at low altitude, which makes him very vulnerable, and he will die in a few seconds if I remember correctly. Meanwhile, Wisear is doing his best to defend, but horizontal maneuvering with Boom&Zoom aircraft is not a good idea. As you can see, Wisear has a tail, and the solution for that is climbing. When you climb, the target starts moving slower and becomes less maneuverable, which means TK Fuzz has an easier time killing him. However, TK Fuzz has his own tail, so he is not able to shoot at Wisear's tail. And we at the moment just need to climb more and shake our tails without any help. You can see there Wisear trying to outclimb the Spitfire, but having a bit of trouble. Spitfire has an amazing turn rate, so Wisear won't be able to outmaneuver him. However, here's TKFS able to deal some nice damage and the Spitfire breaks off. Let's see who starts diving right now. Wisear annihilated another target, and seems like we're both going up. Let's see who's going down. Wisear is going down and calling how to steal, and TKFS will probably respond within a few seconds. Here we go. Targets is slowing down, becomes easy to hit, has some tunnel vision on Wisear and becomes an easy target. As you can see, there's only 4 enemies remaining, where a minute ago we had pretty much an entire team against us. Here you can see another classic example, ME410 going for TKFS and Wisear killing them off. And then the LA5 going for Wisear and TKFS making a dive for them. That's exactly the kind of team play with which you can have a huge impact and get your win rate up. Now at this point we have one enemy Zero attacking our IL. However, the IL is able to kill the Zero, and after a minute or so the game ends. I'm gonna stop commenting here because the rest of the game is pretty boring. If you like this kind of content and you had some good matches yourself, make sure to send a replay to Medvirk or Wisear. Links are in the description of the video. Hope you enjoyed. Happy hunting!